What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, of course, Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees in the next to last game of the regular season for the Yankees against the Texas Rangers hit his 62nd home run of the year, which is a new American League record, a new Yankees franchise record. And, as it became apparent that Judge was in striking distance of breaking that 61-year-old record, you started seeing a little bit of a campaign. You started seeing a little chatter of people out there saying, well, this will be the new record. All right? This is the new home run record. It's the clean record. Because, as we all know, Barry Bonds used steroids. And, of course, Barry Bonds back in 2001 hit 73 home runs for the San Francisco Giants. But one of the biggest cheerleaders for this is Roger Maris' son, Roger Maris Jr., who says in his eyes, Aaron Judge is the real record holder. And that the achievements by Bonds, McGwire, and Sosa don't count. And I'm of this opinion. A lot of people like to disgrace Bonds, to a lesser extent McGwire and Sosa. They claim that they target all three of them, but really a lot of them have Bonds on their target. He's in the bullseye. And this goes all the way back to 2001. Because I remember when Bonds was chasing McGwire versus when McGwire was chasing Maris, and the excitement of the average fan in this country was night and day. Everybody was cheering on McGwire, then later on Sosa. As long as Sosa knew his place and finished second, well, that's cool. It's cool that, he has a little bit of a challenger. As long as Sosa doesn't stay ahead of McGwire. Everyone was cheering McGwire. And all these people who supposedly are so staunchly against steroids, well, when that reporter found that Andros Stenedione on his locker, on the top of his locker, what I remember was that shit was in the news for 3 or 4 days, and they shushed that shit up because they didn't want to ruin the dream. You could even argue Major League Baseball didn't want to ruin the dream or the illusion that this was a clean race. But when Bonds started assaulting the record, challenging McGwire's record, making it look real shaky, all of a sudden you start hearing about steroids. Whereas in the 1990s, when Canseco and McGwire and, all those guys, Brady Anderson, all of them were hitting, 50 home runs, 60 plus. They were using every excuse in the book except for steroids. The ball is juice. The ballparks are smaller. Athletes are bigger, stronger, and faster. Launch angles, and players are increasingly, trying to swing for home runs and all of this crap. Weakened pitching, diluted pitching, expansions, teams, and things of that nature, right? They were using every excuse in the book except for steroids. And when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa brought fans back to baseball in the late 90s, you don't think Major League Baseball knew that something was going wrong when it came to all these guys looking like they spent 6-7 hours a day in a gym? You don't think Major League Baseball noticed something was wrong when people like Miguel Tejada all of a sudden bulked up from 190 to 225 pounds over a 2-year span. You know, like, come on. They do. They still know today, right? It's funny. They're always talking shit about these guys. When you look at Major League Baseball here on YouTube, what do they always show? Home runs. Oh, this guy hit it 485 feet. Oh, look at this vintage home run from Sosa. Oh, McGwire, Bonds, but Canseco. Oh, but they don't want you to idolize these guys. But look at their... Come on, man. What's the most overblown feat? When I say overblown, I should say overdone. What's the most overdone feat in sports and baseball right now? The home run. So I'm just... Miss me with this bullshit, man. And I'll say this. They never put an asterisk, Major League Baseball, in the book when it came to McGwire or Bonds. They did put an asterisk next to Roger Maris. Since we want to start putting asterisks by people, okay, well, let's get real dirty with this. Since you claim that Barry Bonds' record shouldn't count because you assume that he's used steroids, even though he never was definitively proven to use it, well, maybe Roger Maris's record shouldn't count because he did it in a 162-game schedule. Matter of fact, they played an extra game that year, 163. It took him 163 games to break a record that Babe Ruth did in 154 games. That was an asterisk for 30 years until Commissioner Fay Vincent changed it. What about all these records, all these hitting records that were accomplished in a league that discriminated against black and Latino players? Should those records count? And let's not act like even in the 50s and 60s, baseball players weren't doing shit for an edge. There were rumors. I can't substantiate it, can't prove it, but there were rumors that Babe Ruth used to sometimes snort cocaine to give him an added rush of adrenaline. Guys was taking guys were definitely in the 50s and 60s were taking amphetamines to give them a buzz, a burst of energy. You know what I'm saying? As far as focusing, helping their concentration. How many pitchers were using illegal spitballs? I'm not spitballs. Yeah, spitballs, excuse me. How many pitchers were cheating? You know what I'm saying? Doing all types of shit with the baseball. How many batters got caught corking their bats? Look, man, these motherfuckers have been cheating forever. And the thing about it with Bonds and McGwire and Sosa, when they were doing what they were doing, allegedly, almost, I'm not going to say everybody, but most of the great hitters were most likely using steroids. And to add insult to injury, a guy that they just put into the Hall of Fame because he kissed the media's ass, David Ortiz, was caught once using PEDs. So I'm just at a point where I don't, man, fuck Major League Baseball and fuck these people trying to, you know what I'm saying, continue to blackball Barry Bonds. You used him for the record. You used him when he passed Aaron. Then after he passed Aaron, Major League Baseball conspired and blocked him out of baseball to the point where he was forced into retirement. So just get out of my face, man, with this bullshit. It's crap. Barry Bonds is the home run king. Career-wise and single season.